Unlike the technical questions where there's actually a right answer and a wrong answer, with the behavioral question, there's no such thing. It comes down to whether your answers are better than other people's answers and whether your answers actually make you stand out. One of the most common questions that we get asked by students when they're preparing their interview answers is, how do I know what the bankers want to hear? Or how do I know what the bankers are looking for when I'm answering this behavioral question? Because the problem with behavioral questions is that the answers are very open-ended, right? The answer that you come up with for a specific question is not going to be the exact same answer that someone else comes up with, right? Unlike the technical questions where there's actually a right answer and a wrong answer, with the behavioral question, there's no such thing. It comes down to whether your answers are better than other people's answers and whether your answers actually make you stand out, right? And so with that in mind, I want to talk about the best way to go about figuring out just exactly what it is that the bankers are looking for. Now, there's no shortcut to this. Really, the most scientific or methodical way to go about this is to use data, right? Is to do pattern recognition, is to collect a lot of data and recognize if there are any commonalities between all the most successful answers. And so, for example, what I mean by that is here at Wall Street Mastermind, the way we do that is we've seen hundreds of different clients and how they are answering these questions, and we know exactly how they answer their behavioral questions because, quite frankly, we're working with them on these answers together. Right? We're helping them come up with these answers. Obviously, they have to provide the idea, but we're helping them polish it and refine it and practice it. Right? What we also know is what offers did these students end up getting, right? Which interviews did they get and which offers did they get and what's the success rate and what's the quality of the bank that they ended up getting into, right? And so what we did is we took all the best answers, or not all the best answers, we took all the best candidates based on the outcome that they got, okay? So these are like the people that got into the Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanleys and JP Morgans and Evercore PJT Centerviews of the world, like some of the toughest banks to get into. We took all of their answers and we put them side by side, and then we looked through it and we try to find out what are the commonalities that these answers have what are the commonalities that these answers have, right, in between them. And so basically by looking at that and by having a large sample size, because you don't want to just look at like one person's answers or two people's answers, because sometimes an answer that works for one person might not work for you, right? Like if you just talk to an upperclassman and say, oh, well, this is how I answer the question, you might not have the exact same example, or you might not have, you might not be able to apply what they did to your own situation, right? So you want a large sample size, or maybe that person just got lucky. Maybe they had a special connection that helped them get in. You don't know, right? So you have a large sample size that's a lot more scientific. And then what we did was we said, okay, these are all the commonalities, and then let's structure all these things into a framework. It's almost like a formula that you can apply to your behavioral answers. So for each of the most common behavioral questions, we came up with a framework that listed out not just all the elements that the bankers want to see in these answers and all the ingredients that you need to have, but also the order of how you structure the answer, like the sequencing of, hey, which element comes first? What do you talk about first? What do you talk about second? That's another commonality that we try to identify as well, right? So that's what you want ideally, because that's going to clue you in to what these bankers actually want to hear in these interviews. And then once you have that framework, you can really tailor your answers. Take whatever stories or whatever experiences you already have and apply these frameworks to it, and that's going to give you the best answer. Okay, so this came to mind because recently I made a post on LinkedIn, which is what you're seeing on screen here, and basically we're giving out a free training where we have an example of one of our clients' answers. And this client, he basically got every single bulge bracket and elite boutique interview that he applied for. He passed every single first round, every single hire review. He advanced to every single super day. And then he went to the first 4 super days and he got all 4 offers, including from firms like Goldman Sachs and Evercore. And I think the other 2 were like Citi and Perella Weinberg. Okay, so the bottom line is, he had a 100% success rate with passing his interviews, and then he canceled the rest of his super days that he still had coming up because he didn't need to go to them anymore, right? And so for someone like that, obviously you could tell that whatever he was doing with his answers was working, right? It's not as subjective as you think. This worked 100% of the time in 100% of his interviews. So there is a formula to this stuff. And so we're offering this as a free training. If you want to hear how he gives this answer, just drop me a note on LinkedIn and we'll send it over to you, okay? Hey there, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're looking for more customized advice that's tailored for your specific situation, then I invite you to book a free strategy session with our team at the link below. We'll talk to you soon.